Hey everyone, it is day 76 of my study abroad adventure, which means I haven't vlogged in 11 days again. But not a lot happened because of midterms and classes and grades. It's hard to devote to vlogs when I feel like I need to devote so much to just studying. I've talked before about how I feel like I have to do a list of things and just vlogging is always towards the bottom because my grades are important, so I feel like I have to do them. And also it was really rainy last week, so I just didn't really do a whole lot. But I'm gonna work on catching you up because I did do a couple things the last 2-3 days. So sorry if it's a long vlog. I figure at this point if you're watching you're gonna watch, so we'll keep doing what we're doing. My last vlog I left off talking about doing a sunrise visit again. I have not done another sunrise visit. Again, with it being very wet and rainy, it wasn't going to be worth it, plus sleep. So I still hope to accomplish this again in probably the same location, as well as there's another hill I hope to go to. I don't know if I'll do a sunrise visit though, because there's definitely a ski lift to go up for this one, so I don't know if it'd be open before sunrise. Plans there, hopefully in the future. So what I did do on Sunday was purposely take an easy day and went to church. Pretty good there. The important things that happened last week was the Doka-fish internship that I do with Daniel. We had a pretty good class. The week before we had kids who just weren't really into it and weren't well behaving. So last week we actually started them off better instead of just playing. So they stayed on top of it really well, and I say we, it was Daniel. That was very helpful. But it went a lot better. They were doing really, really well. We were so impressed. We probably could have finished last week, but we decided to go on to this week because we don't have it next week. So it's like, this is a good place to do this, and then we get to start something new after the break. So it went really well last week, but then this week, we had 2 didn't show up, 2 of the boys, and again it went better. I do think those who have been there really understand the algorithm and the idea behind how this works, and I was impressed with all the knowledge he gave them. I hope they all understood. That's the hardest thing, is like, you give it to them but they don't understand because of the language barrier. Who knows? So I hope that they understood, and we'll just figure out what's next. The thing that went wrong though is the girls still kind of acted. I didn't mind so much their behavior because they did still try to participate, because when I spend only 45 minutes with them a week, I don't feel like their behavior is my problem. As a teacher I'll care a lot more, but as their math fun guy, I don't care. But they were using inappropriate language, which I didn't realize. So afterwards Daniel had a boy translate for him and talked to them about, he did it perfectly. It's just so sad he has to work through a translator that has to be one of the students. And the teacher who's supposed to help us never shows up. It's just really sad. That's the sad part, because he said all the right things. And I do believe the boy translated and the girls did understand, but the other 2 boys should have left, but they stuck around because he told them, we want you to learn cool new math stuff, but if you can't behave, then you don't need to be here, but we want you to be here. And yeah, it was really, I just told him, I was like, that was all impressive. And it was so impressive because you could tell by their work that they were getting what we wanted them to get, but he still tried to make them talk it out, even though it was in English. I just thought that was awesome. So he does a great job. I wish I could be a little bit more helpful. I will say I was a little bit nervous because we were using scrap paper that I have, and it was one of my general psychology class behaviors about antisocial disorder that I wrote about the girl with the dragon tattoo movie, which if you've seen it, it's rated R and has a lot of explicit content. So I was like, oh shoot, he's trying to read it, and he only had half of the page at first, and so I'm like quickly scanning it for anything that would be inappropriate for a 7th grader, and it was fine. But then he found the other half. I think the only thing on there was about how she was being convicted for trying to kill a family member. So Hopefully he didn't get there or didn't see it, but I think that was the only bad thing on it. The rest would be a lot of statistics and mumbo jumbo about antisocial disorder. So I was like super nervous and just like trying to look over his shoulder and scan and be like, oh my god, I do not want to do this. And he was just so confused by this paper that it was there, I think. Yeah. So hopefully we'll find someone else fun for next time. I'm happy with the project. I still kind of wish I was doing it by myself because he's great and I'm learning from him and I think what he's doing is great, but then it doesn't push me to do it. So if I was by myself, I'd be pushed to do it, and I would have. So we'll see how it goes. I hope to get on that soon, so maybe I could be on a bunch this time. And he won't have to work so hard, because he definitely works very hard. The next thing was last week during salsa, we didn't actually have salsa class because the McDaniel students didn't want to during midterms, even though the rest of us other math kids were like, sure, whatever, why not? And last week I definitely got frustrated with them, the McDaniel students, a lot because I think they have to take it. It's their PE credit. Where for us, we don't even sign it. I don't think we're getting a grade. So we want to be there and have a good time. I think I talked about this, sorry. So what we did was we decided to make our little Facebook group chat and be like, hey, we can meet up, and those of you who missed class, we can tell you what's going on. And ended up, Ashley and I went, as always, and then Nick was going to come, but he didn't show up, and I showed up, and then the other person who showed up was Seth. He was the only one who didn't show up the week before, so essentially we just spent 20 minutes teaching him what he missed, which was really hard to do when there's only 2 girls, 2 guys, and some of the stuff we're doing is changing partners, and sometimes you don't just even skip one partner, you skip 2 partners, so it got complicated. But then he did fantastic tonight, and I'm going to say I'm supposed to post that he's my favorite salsa partner. Okay, Seth, I did it. You're my favorite salsa partner. We'll see if you actually watch this. He wanted me to verbalize his name too. So Seth, I did it. I do enjoy his company doing salsa. It's quite fun. He's from Carlton, like all the other kids. So yeah, and then tonight we had salsa class and it went really well. Rika was sick, sadly, so we just had her husband leading. And yeah, we learned one newish thing. It was like an extension of what we already knew. So feeling more proficient, feeling good. It's enjoyable. My favorite moment was, so we clap at a point, and so I spin and then I clap and then I get my partner. And when I spun and I clapped my partner, I freaked him out, I guess, clapping. It was the best moment ever. And I was like, I'm sorry, I cheered clap. So, salsa was good. Otherwise, last week, I visited Peter's school, my post-on method teacher, last Wednesday. Tomorrow I am going to the blind school. It might be blind and deaf, or it might just be blind. I'm not 100% sure. But, so last week I went to Peter's school, and we viewed his lesson twice. I'm just amazed week after week with the behavior of the students. Like, I don't know if it's because there's 6 of us in the classroom, but I never see major behavior issues where anytime I viewed a class in America, there was some sort of behavior issue somewhere. Granted, the last class, they were definitely comfortable that a lot of them were doing games on their phones, or like and I don't know what phone policy is here, but I didn't think they should be playing games. But yeah, it was, I'm gaining more respect with Peter as I go. Like I said, I still respect him as a person. I just get really frustrated with him as an educator. Which leads me to Thursday. Rika is not my PE teacher, Rika, but the other Rika is the Budapest Semester Mathematics Education Director. Wants to meet with us all on a semi-regular basis and talk about classes and things. And she wanted us to meet with Thursday, and Steffi talked with her, which led to, she was still fired up about it. What she talked about when we got to problem solving and talking to the teacher about it. So anyway, I say this because then I also talked to Rika on Saturday, was my turn talking to her, so there's just Steffi verbalizes it the most and the loudest, the frustration with those two classes. For her it's more problem solving, for me it's more Poisson method, of how much it's not really useful to us and it's not really an education class, it is a math class. And how we expected more to know how to use this, instead of we feel, or I'll say I feel that I'm just getting challenged and feeling like an idiot. So I appreciate her vocalization, the talking with the teacher really, I noticed that there's a huge cultural difference. Going in here a couple times, I've been like, yeah, this is a cultural difference, but like this was one that's like, oh, he really doesn't understand how we're gonna teach in America. And that's why he can't quite understand why we find this to be so useless. And then opened my eyes a little bit to be a little bit more giving to both these classes, because the big difference is, one, when we think we're going into an education class, we have preconceived notions, and these classes do not fulfill these preconceived notions at all, so I really need to throw those out the window. Granted, my two other classes do, so that doesn't help. And the fact that as a learner myself, I am so out of practice of self-discovery in mathematics. I am so used to it just being given to me. So it's really hard to challenge me this way, and then so it's going to be very hard to teach it until I get it. So, yeah. And that's just how it is, and work through it, because I talked to Rika and I gave her some advices of like, I wish there was ways that I know when I go home I'm going to be able to look back at this and pull direct things out and know I can use it. Like, I really appreciate what Anna tells us. I use this when I teach fractions. I use this when I teach prime numbers. More than even I use it with 6th graders. I use this with 5th graders. It's when I teach this subject. So, I mean, we all love Anna's class for that. Even though I think if you want to teach higher education, then, because she teaches 5th and 6th grade, it could be a little redundant, but most of us, the girls especially, want to teach middle school, so it's working well. And the reason why I talked to Rika so much on Saturday was because I went to Poisson Math Camp. I was the only one ended up who went, so we talked a lot about that, as well as the camp, which was cool. These kids blow my mind. They're 11th graders, and they were doing problems that I'm just like, what? Why? What? And I told Peter about it today, my Poisson method teacher, that because I thought he was going to ask us the same question. I was like, oh no, where are you going with this? And he explained to me that that question that I observed them using, this question thread, was an introductory to abstract algebra, which is what I'm taking. As a senior in college, I am taking abstract algebra, and they're 11th graders in high school being practiced with an introductory to this topic. And they want to be there. They want to be at the Poisson Math Camp. So, what? And I should explain the Poisson Math Camp. They literally do math. Like, I kept trying to get out of Rika, like, do they do something else cool? Because, like, they're in Budapest. Like, do they go to pools? Do they go to the movies? Like, what else do they do? Because even if I was in the top, and when I was, like, super math nerd, to go do math for 3 days during the school year, which meant they didn't, because I'm sure they're in advanced math classes, so they do math all week, then all weekend, and then all another week. If I was going to do that, there would have to be something else awesomely fun about the camp that makes me want to come back every time, because these kids want to come back. She's like, no. And then she's like, well, they like board games, so they probably play a bunch of board games, something. And that would not convince me to come back. Like, there would need to be some sort of promise of something awesome that, on top of doing all the school math, that would make me come back and put that much effort in. Because, like, they just do, like, an hour session together as a group with the teacher, and then they go off into little groups and work on it, then they come back and just do math for 3 days with ridiculously hard problems. And it kind of gets specialized over the years. They start in, like, 7th grade and then get split up into groups, or, like, this one was actually 2 different groups, so that they've recently separated, that the other group is doing different topics. So, yeah, it's crazy. Crazy. Anyway, so then, that kind of sums up my week and some of the feelings I'm having. I did finish my midterms, but I'm probably going to be doing the retake for Poisson method because, and this is where, again, I get frustrated with Peter as an educator. For instance, one of my problems, I did all the work up to the final answer correctly. I know it because it was one of the problems I did in class. Like, I am positive it's good work, and in America that would give me something. And now my last answer was incorrect, which my final answer, which I was not surprised by because in the end I was like, I don't remember how to find, with all this work, I don't remember which one to find, and I couldn't organize it correctly, and I was running out of time that I just put down answer. He gave me 0 points because I had the incorrect answer. And I'm just like, dude, did you see this beautiful chessboard? Everything labeled, everything explained why this would work this way. I just picked the wrong square. Really? Because I think of Tim Fry. I appreciate his grading so much. There was a problem last year that I knew exactly what to do with it. I set it all up, and there's an integral, and I had to go through the integral to find the final answer, and I realized, I even put on the side, I think I did this integral wrong. And he puts in the end when he graded it, was like, yeah, you did the integral wrong, but everything else is, the idea of what you're doing is correct, because you could plug an integral into a calculator or Wolfram Alpha. You don't need to do it. So he gave me 100% on that problem, because I knew what I was doing, even though my execution was wrong. That's something I could correct when it wasn't test form, because test form is ridiculous. And then this guy, I mess everything up, I do everything right but the final thing, and I get no credit. So, I'm going to do the retake. I don't know exactly what that means, because I guess he's offering a test because we all didn't. The overall grade was not what he thought it would be. He says it's because we don't ask when we don't understand, and I really want to be like, no, it's because you don't give credit where credit's due. But it's okay. I think that catches you guys up on classes. Yeah. We've seen more students teach. I need to work on what my lesson plan is going to be for when I teach in concept building and manipulatives, games and manipulatives. So, I'm going to tell you about my weekend. Last Friday, I spent a lot of time at the Arena Plaza shopping. This is why I don't have to hold the camera, because I bought a cheap tri-stand. I'm very happy with it, and I think maybe it will help the sound, and it was super affordable. I thought, why not? And maybe when I go back to do a sunrise visit, I can just set it up and let it record. I don't know. We'll see. Because I needed new headphones, and I got a little bit of food and things like that, and just kind of had a mall afternoon. I didn't spend too much money, though. I was very restricted. There was definitely a couple times I'm like, should I go look at clothes? Should I go look at makeup? And every time I was like, Julie, you really don't need it right now. So, that's pretty much what I did Friday. And then Saturday, I spent the good part of the day at the Poseidon Math Camp. And this weekend, October 23rd, was 2016 was the 60th anniversary of the 1956 revolution here in Hungary. So because of that, Parliament was free visited on Saturday. So I finally went and visited Parliament. I'm very happy. It's definitely a quick visit. I cannot take pictures of the crown jewels and of the Dome Hall. So if you want to see those, you're going to have to Google it, because they don't allow cameras in that room. But I do have some pictures from the rest of the walk around quickly of it, and I will put that at the end like I did with the sunrise vlog, and you can see them. Of course, I encourage you to look up pictures because they'll probably be better, and I definitely saw a small part of it. It was funny when I got out, I'm like, wait, I went from there to there, and I went from there to there, but there's a lot of the rooms where the Parliament people stay, I'm guessing, that I don't get to see. There's a lot of things, and I did see someone getting a tour that I think maybe if I go back and pay for a tour, get to see more. But either way, I got into Parliament. It's awesome. Cool building. I will tell you a little fact that I've learned. Yesterday, I finally did some tour buses. There's 365 spheres on Parliament, one for every day. 365. So it's a pretty cool building. It was hit during World War II bombing. I guess 80% of the Budapest buildings were destroyed in the World War II and the bridges and things. There was a lot of reconstruction after World War II. Okay, so that's what I did on Saturday. This weekend I started binge watching Smallsville a little bit, so that's part of my problem. Sunday, went to church, studied for my midterm, and talked to Mom. The House of Terror was free that day, but it was more important for me to study, so I still need to do that. And like I said yesterday, I finally did a hop-on, hop-off bus tour. 2, actually. I did a classic one and a night one. I hope to do the 3rd one tomorrow. So I have some pictures from that, but you have to realize being on a bus, some of the pictures don't come out well as it got dark really early, so there's a lot of pictures that came out too bad, so I'm not even going to bother sharing them with you. So twice I got to hear a run through of Hungarian history, which has helped me understand better what's going on. There was some interesting story. One that's gruesome was there was a king in the 1500s who fought the Turks or something, and failed that they put him on a hot iron throne with a hot iron crown. So some of those medieval things that you hear in stories, it's like, what? That happened, and like the statue right there represents that guy. So, also heard about their freedom fights. In front of Hero Square is the burial grounds for all the soldiers who fought for independence or freedom in the 1800s, mid-1800s. So, I mean, that tells you how much they were oppressed. Oh my goodness, there was some golden years, but like so much of it, they were oppressed by other people. And it's funny being from America, where we've never lost a war on U.S. soil, and we've kind of always been winners. We're also really young, though, to hear a history of like they kind of lose a lot and how that really affects who they are. So like today, day and age, the fact that they can finally be themselves and for the most part, no one's influencing that, how valuable that is, how much that needs to happen. So, yeah, what else can I tell you? I am going to Transylvania this weekend, because the MSA, my tour lady, she really wants to show us the Hungarian culture there. It's like most people don't know, Transylvania was Hungarian land before World War I ended. And what I learned through these tours was there was a time when the Turks came and invaded Hungary and some other group that was the first big time for years that they were oppressed, and the only area that actually got to keep their Hungarian traditions for the most part was Transylvania area, the southern part. So it's so sad that we hear Transylvania, we know it's Romanian, when yet so much of Transylvanian history is Hungarian. And I can really, just knowing that like, when there was a time that most of Hungary was oppressed, Transylvania still got to be Hungarian, but yet today they aren't. It makes me really understand why people could be so upset when that land was taken from them, and why they still are upset, and like how that's considered home to them, and the people who live there who identify as Hungarians, and they have to be Romanian. So yeah, can't wait to show you guys that. Anyway, maybe I'll sprinkle some more history throughout the time I'm here, but I've definitely talked way too long because now I have pictures to share with you. I'm sorry. Maybe I'll update a vlog on Thursday, and then Friday I start my Transylvania visit. I can't wait. And I want to thank you all for staying tuned to my adventure.